Hi, my name's Charlie Turnbull. This is Delishops Discovers. We are talking the Scottish Retail Food and Drink Awards, and we have the awesome finalist, Dean Banks from Lunun Gin, up in Arbroath, Angus. Welcome, Dean.
Hi, how are you?
We're extremely well. So give us the 20 seconds. Who are you? What do you do?
So I'm Dean Banks. I am the creator of Lunun Gin, a Scottish gin that's with a massive Asian twist. Basically, it replicates my style of cooking.
Oh, fantastic. So tell us a bit about yourself first. You're a chef by trade.
Yeah, so chef by trade, chef since I was 14 years old. So about 16, 17 years now. You know, I opened a restaurant 2 years ago. We were looking for a gin to accompany my foods, which we couldn't find. So we went to the drawing board, and this is why we came up with Lunun Gin. We created it from the ground up, using the botanicals that are in my dry store for cooking. And we basically, we make it in Arbroath, my hometown where I'm from. So we partnered up with Distillations, Lewis Scotland, an old school friend of mine. We used to be in the same classes at high school, Arbroath High School. And we've teamed up and created this gin.
Well, fantastic, because it's important to know your distiller. It's not just, you know, buying it in bulk that turns up in a big tanker and you throw a couple of herbs in it. That doesn't work. No,
definitely not. Definitely not. No. So the great thing is we were friends prior to this. So we kind of created this bond. It was fun on, the first kind of tasting days. I came with a couple of big shopping bags full of Asian ingredients, chucked them on the tables. We started going through them, picking things out. And basically it's just most things in this is what I use in my cooking. Most ingredients you'll find in a Thai green curry. So that's kind of where we went with it.
So gin is botanicals plus juniper, or juniper plus botanicals is sort of where people take it. The botanicals tend to be their choice, but people don't move away much from that juniper base. I mean, are you using juniper on this one?
Yeah, of course we're using juniper, but we would not lend the flavor focus towards that. We tend to go towards the citrus, so we're using kaffir lime leaf. And when you open that bottle, there's a big fragrant. The first thing that punches your nose is that kaffir lime leaf. Then you have the Sichuan peppercorn, lemongrass, and ginger. So these are the kind of that Asian influence.
Let's get in there. Nice label, by the way. And I do like these bottles. There's something about this shape that just makes me think of sort of 19th century pharmacy. Yeah. So this is
it's a message in a bottle. Imagine that floating in the ocean with a old message inside. So on the label, you'll see actually Lunan Bay, where the names came from. You've got the castle, Lunan Bay, the sand dunes, the ocean, obviously the sun coming up. The clouds are actually a replica of the kaffir lime leaf. And then in the logo, the Sichuan peppercorn and the lime leaf.
You've really brought everything in there. So I'm going in there, and I'm gonna get my lime leaf. Oh, it comes up first, isn't it? But
super citrusy and fresh.
Yeah, it's lime, it's lemon, but it's also, I would say, more lime than lemon.
Yeah.
But there's something of the sea in the smell.
That comes from the kombu seaweed. So
right.
The seaweed in there is bringing that kind of saline saltiness into it. You can imagine walking down the beach and you get that whiff of kind of sea air or seaweed. That's what that is. That's the seaweed inside. So the seaweed also helps with a soft finish on your lips. There'll be a sweetness on your lips, which creates a smoothness within the gin.
I'm amazed by that. I thought I was making it up, but you're telling me there's a root to that. That's really good. Yeah. I'm not making it up. I'm never making it up, but you know what I mean.
But the great thing about Lunun Gin is you can drink it neat. The reason we can drink it neat is we do a one-fold process. So everything distilled is bottled.
I gotta stop you. That's smooth. That is really smooth. Gin is quite a punchy drink on its own.
And this is 41% as well.
Oh, that is. I'm going to say that's the smoothest smoothest gin I've ever had. That's amazing.
Yeah, and you get that sweetness at the end. So that sweetness is coming from the seaweed. Kombu seaweed. It's kind of at the front of your mouth. You're getting that lovely kind of smoothness. That's the seaweed. I think gives a lovely finish in the mouth.
And it's leaving a tingle across the top of my top of my my mouth.
That's from the Sichuan peppercorn,
And that's the pepper.
Yeah,
that's the bit for me that most delivers what you are describing as your Asian twist there. That it's not curry. That would be completely wrong to say it's got a curry flavor, but it's got that hint in that direction.
Yeah, I think I always like, there's many flavors of peppercorn. Szechuan's kind of that floral-y, kind of feminine peppercorn, rather than that kind of, imagine a black peppercorn, it's very harsh, it's kind of punch in the face, whereas Szechuan's a lot more floral-y and light.
That's delicious. I would never, ever consider having a neat gin. I remember my granny used to have pink gins, with a little Angostura. That's about as, but that's awesome. And probably would get me drunk quite quickly.
Yeah, definitely.
Job you've got there. Well done, you. That's really good. I mean, you're up as a finalist, so obviously this is being recognised by the judges. So let's hope you go away. So tell us a bit more about you. You went through the MasterChef Pros.
Yeah, so 2018, I was in MasterChef Professionals. Got all the way to the final. And if you've watched the show, you'll see in the show my style of cooking. It's fusion. And you'll see that in the show, and you'll see everything from the show inside the bottle as well. You see some of the dishes are in there. So it's definitely built around my personality, kind of the style I like to cook. The restaurant focuses around local produce, but done in a fusion style. And that's exactly what this is. This is a Scottish product done in a fusion style, the same as the food. Yeah,
there are no food miles to ideas. You can bring any ideas you like. So why were you drawn to fusion style? Why were you drawn to Asian styles?
I traveled a lot. So from the age of about 22, I moved to Switzerland. I lived in the Alps, a place called Verbier, and I lived there for 8 years. But between the winters of skiing and working, I would travel the world. So for 6 months a year, I would just go off and I would pick countries and just go there. So over these 7 years, I traveled over 40 countries. For many things, I spent a lot of time in India, Nepal, and then always Southeast Asia. And that's, the main places I've been to. South America as well. I do some of my cooking, the little touches from South America and Spanish and stuff, but it's more focused towards that kind of fusion style of Southeast Asian stuff.
So what he's basically saying, 10 years as not quite 10 years, whatever it was, as a hippie. So you were on the road, and then you came back and you worked bloody hard. You don't get to be a restaurant person or a good chef without putting the hours in. Yeah,
so I used to call myself the modern day nomad. I lived out of a suitcase for almost 10 years.
Wow. And you brought that in, and you've started your chefing career, and you opened your restaurant after you got to the final of MasterChefs in 2018. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah. So after the show had finished, it finished in December. So it was 3 months later, I launched Har in St Andrews. Great successful business in the first year. Obviously, second year we've gone through the pandemic, but we've then recreated a new business, which is Har at Home. So we're a flourishing business now. We're even bigger than we were before we went to the pandemic.
Fantastic.
Because we offered this at home delivery. We actually offer a lot of our Lunun Gin. We create cocktails with the gin as well, and we deliver that to people's homes with the meals as well, that we provide luxury lobsters and crab and Wagyu beef and stuff. But again, they're all British products we use.
It's extraordinary, isn't it, that COVID has driven us back to some of the most traditional ways of building communities and feeding communities and using local products, that if it wasn't in such an awful backdrop, we would be celebrating in its own right.
Definitely agree with that. I think the pandemic's it's given us time to be creative, more creative. Beforehand, everyone's so focused on work, big busy days and stuff like that, and your head's just down, not looking up too often, especially in the restaurant world. And with the pandemic, it gave me the opportunity to kind of look up, let me be creative, give me the time to be creative. So in my personal opinion, like what's happened to me is the pandemic's been a great thing for my business.
Okay, yes, it's kind of thing you don't want to say too loud, but it's great to hear some people are thriving. Some people are thriving. I mean, we've spoken to other people from Angus. You've got great ingredients within touching distance of where you are, whether it's fruit or beef or and now you're adding gin to the list. So a couple of essential questions. Where can people get your product? This is from a trade perspective, not consumers.
Yeah, so you can get it direct from our website, lunungin.com, I think it is, or you can get it from some shops. So on our website, you'll find a list of our retailers that we have, and also there's a lot of bars and restaurants that we supply as well. Those are also on our list on our website. You can have a look there as well. There's a lot of places obviously in the Angus, Fife area, some in Edinburgh area and Glasgow as well.
Okay, and we'd want you to be listed on Delishops. I'm hoping that you will or are, and people can contact you and contact you direct, and you will ship it all around the country. You know,
yeah, yeah. So we ship nationwide. That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So, what would it mean to win? I mean, how long? Sorry, I should have asked. How long? When did you make this? When was your?
So Lunun Gin is about 1.5 years old.
Right.
So it'd be a massive thing for us if we won. You know, I think obviously during the pandemic, everything's been shut. To come out of that, bars and restaurants reopen. I think we've been waiting to kind of to tell everyone about our gin. We've been trying to tell everyone it's hard. There's a lot of competition in the gin world, but you've tasted it now. You know how smooth is our gin. We want people. The tagline is no nonsense, just taste, and that's what it is. You know, drink our gin neat if you want to. You know, obviously with a lovely tonic, slice of lime, you know, but it can be drunk neat, and that's the great thing about our gin.
It's fantastic. I really rate it. I mean, I've really enjoyed doing these Scottish Retail Food and Drink Awards because we're reaching into the pockets of the UK that are doing their own thing with the creativity you're talking about, with the provenance they're talking about. And it's not just fusion between different cultures, it's fusion between different times. You're taking something from the past and fusing it with something from the present, whether it's a technique or it's amazing. It's really, really good. Dean, it's been fantastic to talk to you. Thank you so much. Best of luck. The results are next Thursday. And I really hope you do well.
Thanks so much. Well, thanks for having me on as well. It's been great.
It's been a pleasure. Happy weekend. Starts here.